The NFL draft is coming up fast with the conclusion of Week 18 in the NFL playoffs. The top 10 teams especially are really looking ahead towards this upcoming year's draft. So today I present to you my 1.0 mock draft consisting of the top 10 picks in the draft, and the Tennessee Titans have now claimed the number 1 overall pick. So there's a big question there. Will they go with Shedeur Sanders? Will they go Cam Ward? Will they go in another direction? We will have to see today. But if you do enjoy today's video at any point and want to see more mock drafts in the future, want to see more draft content, make sure to leave a like and leave a comment down below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's mock draft. With the first pick here, we got the Tennessee Titans on the clock, courtesy of the New England Patriots winning the other day and falling all the way down to number 4. So we've got Tennessee here at 1, and I think they're going to go quarterback. Will Levis. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a new meme of the week dropping every week whenever Will Levis plays football, because the Tennessee Titans are going to be going out and selecting a quarterback first overall, and I think that quarterback is going to be Mr. Nonchalant himself, Cam Ward. Now, he's actually going to have to try when he plays football when he gets to Tennessee, because obviously they're picking number 1 overall. They don't have the best roster in the world, but I think Cam Ward can really revamp this offense and turn them around. The guy just threw for over 4,000 yards and almost 40 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions at Miami, and I think the Hurricanes were snubbed of the CFP. I think he comes into Tennessee and from day one helps change the culture there and helps them start winning. Now, at number 2, we have the Cleveland Browns, and I think they're also going to go quarterback. It's going to be quarterback here at the top of the draft. There are some rumors flying around that a lot of teams don't even have a first-round grade on Shedeur, and nobody really likes any of the quarterbacks in this draft, but that doesn't matter, because at the top of the draft, no matter what, unless it's like the draft a couple of years ago when Kenny Pickett was the only first-round quarterback, those quarterbacks were just terrible that year. So this is not a year like that. They're still going to hype up these quarterbacks at the top of the draft. Shedeur is going to go to Cleveland to replace Deshaun Watson, and he's going to have Jerry Jeudy, and they're going to have to really help build up that offense around him. Nick Chubb should be coming back next year. He's getting up there in age, though, so we'll see. But I think Shedeur, who has had, obviously, a really good college career, this year he threw for over 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Like Cam Ward, he just threw for 200 less yards than Ward did. And him, Travis Hunter, Coach Prime, it's been fun to watch them throughout college, now to the NFL level. And speaking of Travis Hunter, I think he now goes to number 3 to the New York Giants, who I think they'll play him at corner. We'll see what happens there. They could also play him at receiver. Obviously, Neighbors and Travis Hunter would be an elite duo to have going forward. Defensively, you would probably be seeing him play across from Deonte Banks. So we'll see what happens there, but I think Travis Hunter at 3 is a good pick for the Giants. We'll see which way they play him. I think, he's probably going to be playing cornerback first and then a little bit of wide receiver if they work him into that role. But the Giants here, they can now, go for a quarterback next year instead of having to reach for Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, and they get Travis Hunter here with the 3rd overall pick. Now at number 4, we have the New England Patriots on the board. They get to help out this offensive line because it was awful last year for Drake May. They would have probably got Travis Hunter. Now they get to probably a blessing in disguise for them, because yes, they need weapons. They can go out and get weapons in free agency. You can't go out and get an all-pro left tackle in free agency, whereas that's what they're probably going to be getting here with Will Campbell. The best tackle in the class can also play guard. They were 32nd in pass block win rate and 32nd in run block win rate. So they just need offensive linemen in general wherever they can plug and play. Will Campbell can play tackle, guard. He was the best tackle in the country Well, him and Kelvin Banks Jr., they were kind of neck and neck there. But Will Campbell, I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise for the Patriots. It forces them to build up in the trenches instead of going and getting the flashy pick in Travis Hunter. So now Will Campbell is a Patriot. Now at 5, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they get to benefit off of a guy being hurt this year, and that's Will Johnson, who battled a toe injury for a good majority of the season. He ended up missing some games as of late, and I think he is going to be a steal for the Jaguars here at number 5. The NFL comp for him right now is Patrick Surtain II. I think that's probably warranted, right? This kid can play. If Will Campbell's still here, it becomes more of a decision. Whereas, do they take Campbell or Will Johnson? But I think building that defense up, You could help protect Trevor a little bit more, but I think building that defense up takes first priority. You go out, you get your cornerback one with Will Johnson. He'll be the best corner they've had since Jalen Ramsey, and that'll be a nice addition to this squad. I think he's a day one plug-and-play starter. Now at number 6, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think they're going to go out and get Tetairoa McMillan. I think this is going to be a home run pick for them. This dude, if you watch what he does at his height, should not be normal. The way he gets in and out of cuts, in and out of breaks, it is ridiculous. The route tree, he's got it all there. He probably could have went number 1 as the number 1 overall receiver last year. He's a stud. He is an instant impact player. Now, I know the Raiders need a quarterback, but I mean, there's 2 right now that I think you can justify taking in the first round. Maybe Dylan Gabriel towards the end of the first. People are talking about Jackson Dart. I don't know. I don't really see either of those guys as first-round quarterbacks. So I think you go out, you get the best position player available here in McMillan, and I think he is going to, alongside Brock Bowers, you're setting those foundational pieces for an elite offense in the future. Of course, you just lost Devontae Adams, so you need that new wide receiver 1. Boom, you get that with McMillan here. Now at 7, we have the New York Jets, and I think they need D-line. They need quarterback. This could be a quarterback-needy team. You're not going to take a tight end at 7 unless it's Brock Bowers. There are no Brock Bowers this year. So Mason Graham or Abdul Carter, in my opinion, becomes the pick because they need defensive line. And I think they will go interior D-line with Mason Graham versus an edge rusher in Abdul Carter, partly because I want the Panthers to get Abdul Carter at 8 as a Panthers fan. But I also think Mason Graham right now is a little bit better, and, they need interior help versus edge help. So I think that Mason Graham is probably the pick here. Yes, the stats don't show up on the stat sheet, but just watch the film. It is all there. He is a monster. He's going to be very disruptive on the middle of that Jets line. And then at 8, like we just talked about, we're going to have the Panthers get Abdul Carter. Really like Abdul Carter. He's not Micah Parsons yet, of course, but hopefully he can become something like that in a Carolina Panthers uniform. Some edge help to go with Derrick Brown up the middle. People forget Derrick Brown's coming back next year, and he's one of, if not the best interior lineman in the league. So getting Abdul Carter to go with Derrick Brown on that defensive line, and just the Panthers in general need defense. They just gave up the most points in a single season in NFL history. So Abdul Carter will be welcomed into Carolina to kind of replace Brian Burns as that number 1 edge rusher that we didn't replace last offseason. Now, at number 9, I have the Saints here. Going with an interesting pick, you could go with Luther Burden here as a receiver. Tackles are probably good. You could go with a guard, but I think I like the pick here of Malachi Starks. I really do. He's only 20 years old. Put him on the back end of that defense. His football IQ is through the roof. Had a great year this year at Georgia, and I think that he can come into New Orleans and really, really help this team out from day one. Yes, of course, you need a quarterback with Derek Carr's tenure probably coming to an end, and you could even go Luther Burden to pair up with Chris Olave and company. You don't need Genty. You still got Kamara for a couple more years, hopefully. You could think about Jalen Walker here as either an edge rusher or an off-ball linebacker. We'll see how that he started to play a little bit more off the edge this year. We'll play a little bit of both, really. Led the team in sacks last year as a redshirt sophomore at Georgia, and then this year just became one of their, if not their best defensive players overall. So give me Malachi Starks here at 9 over Jalen Walker. But Jalen Walker, kid's a stud as well. I'll take Malachi Starks, though, on the back end of that defense. He's a top 10 player. It's just hard to put safety in the top 10 when there's other positions that are more valuable that need to be addressed. Now at number 10, we have the Chicago Bears, and this is where you go out and you get Caleb Williams some protection, right? Bears' offensive line was not great. Kelvin Banks Jr. can come in and he can be an elite tackle for this team down the road. He was really good at Texas, did get hurt towards the end of that game against Arizona State, but hopefully he'll be good for the next round of the playoff. So we'll get to see him a little bit more, but I think, first and foremost, you got to protect Caleb Williams. You got to get him more time in the pocket because it doesn't matter how many weapons you have around him. If he doesn't have time to throw it, and if you can't establish a run game, it's not going to matter. Build in the trenches, and that's what they're doing here with Kelvin Banks Jr. at number 10. Now, this was just a little top 10 mock draft here. I got to do some more research to get all the way down to the end of the first round, but as of right now, yes, no Genty. I'm a big Genty fan, but I don't think you can take him top 10 here. At least any of these teams are not in position to take him top 10. That's my top 10. Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.